Every classroom should be a playground for creating innovators, not just a place where students pursue good grades. My name is David Ogunshola. I lead a company called EarlyFounders Labs. We are a coding, innovation, and startup school for children. We equip every child with skills to enable them launch their first startup before their 18th birthday. Some years ago, countries began passing legislation that computer programming should be taught from elementary schools, meaning in these countries, basic literacy will now be reading, writing, and coding. I'm a software engineer. I learned to code in the university, and I got curious. What do these countries know? Why are they requiring students to learn in primary 2 what I learned in 200 level? By the way, we run a school with my wife, and I'm involved in running the school, and I began to get really worried. Will our students be able to compete globally if they are going to learn in university what their mates around the world are learning in elementary school? But then I was asking myself, what do these countries know? What are they seeing? Where is the world going? And why is this becoming a matter? This research led us to come across something called the Global Achievement Gaps, a list of skills that were listed as the important skills that every child or every student should learn if they will succeed in the 21st century. So you have skills like critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, curiosity, all of those soft skills that we talk about today. Unfortunately, none of these skills are being taught as a subject in schools. And so if students are going to acquire these skills, then schools of necessity need to introduce subjects, activities, and programs that enable students to acquire these skills through other means. And this is what I discovered that these countries had discovered, that coding was not just a skill in itself, but also was a means to an end. While learning to code or program computers, students will learn skills like critical thinking, problem solving, communication, working together, and all of those things. And we thought, this is a good idea. Let's introduce it to schools around here. But then we met another big problem. We didn't have framework, we didn't have curriculum, we didn't have textbooks, we couldn't find resources, not just in our country, but we began to check around countries on the continent, and we realized this was something new and it was a major need across the continent. But someone had to solve that problem, and that's where EarlyFounders was born. As a software engineer, I went back to study education, built on my knowledge, had a degree in STEM education, so I could be empowered to work with schools and support educators in raising innovators. The first thing that we did over the years is that we first built a curriculum. Our curriculum is called Pathway to Innovation, helping students acquire critical thinking, innovation, problem solving, and coding skills and entrepreneurship skills to be able to build businesses that respond to problems in society. But then we built textbooks that could be used in schools called Early Coding for Kids. And these textbooks, level 1 to 5 for now, are gaining traction. Governments are beginning to adopt them. The Lagos State government in Nigeria has approved that Early Coding for Kids be included in its curriculum. A few schools around the world, in Nigeria, in Kenya, South Africa, and even the US, has adopted Early Coding for Kids as part of their curriculum. But then, how do we support schools to implement this? So we began to build teacher courses also, teacher certification courses. So for every level of Early Coding for Kids, we've built a teacher certification course, meaning anybody can go online, take a course, and get certified to teach these books, so schools can have access to teachers. We also built educator libraries, a collection of complete plug-and-play resources, lesson plans, lesson slides, lesson notes, lesson videos that schools can use to teach this subject in schools. Ultimately, what we're trying to achieve is not just to bring coding into the classroom, but to bring in an activity which is not just equipping kids with skills, but that while learning to code, they are able to develop many of these skills that they desperately need if they succeed in the future. At EarlyFounders Labs, that's why we exist, to support schools and partner with schools so that your classrooms can actually become that playground where, rather than just pursuing grades and good degrees and good certifications, students are actually learning the skills that they need for the future. And we are willing to support you and work with your schools through our textbooks, through our resources, through all that we've built to ensure that your school is raising the next generation of African innovators. Please reach out to us through our website, earlyfounders.co, or our social media platforms. I'll be happy to partner with your schools and support you with all our resources, training, and everything so that your school can be a creator of innovators.